Welcome back to the MajiinBae podcast with Jason Florent. I got a great show for you guys today. I have a special guest on, MajiinBae. Welcome, Majin, to the show.
You joke, but a lot of people say it like that. Majin, I hear that a lot. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. For those that don't know, it's Bae's birthday today. Happy birthday! So 26. Not only 26, yeah, Ancient. So old. Mm-hmm. Just literally, It's all downhill from there. There's no point.
Nothing good happens after 26.
No point in going on. For all of those of us that are much older than you. So, before we jump into our awesome show today, we're going to talk all about Bae being old and also making top 16 at Worlds. First, we always have to thank all of our patrons over at Patreon that support us in the MajiinBae Patreon. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. If you have not already done so, go check it out. We have an awesome Patreon. We have a great community. Discord is free to join. Links to that below and all the things. And then, of course, we also have to thank Saucy and Mailman over at
Saucy and Mailman. Yeah, those two guys, love them.
Well, it's gonna be a good show today. Over at Runeterra Radio, they definitely never have any mistakes or bloopers like that, so go watch their awesome content. You can find it Runeterra Radio, YouTube, Spotify, all the usual places.
I feel like they probably have a lot.
Of course they do. That was the joke. You're killing me. Yeah. No, they're the best. I love those guys. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so today, because it is your birthday, and you are going into the epitome of competitive play, top 16, what they consider actual, fair enough.
Yeah, actual worlds.
Actual worlds,
after
whatever.
Most people are playing, like, already done.
After the hardest tournament ever. Anyways, we're going to be focusing all on Bae today to begin with. So, in usual interview fashion, Bae, why don't you tell the people a little bit about your experience with gaming, card games, and like how you got into Runeterra to kick things off?
Okay. So for people who don't know my background, I never really played card games until post-high school. I played like Yu-Gi-Oh! On, like third grade playground Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is basically like, no, your Blue Eyes White Dragon has more attack points than my guy. I guess you just win all the time now, because we didn't really know how the rules worked.
Right.
But I've always really liked card games. But I just never really got introduced to like the world, right? So I enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! And later on I would play like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, right? Whenever I'd play The Witcher, I'd just play Gwent all the time. But I didn't know that like card games were like a really big thing. Until post high school, a friend came over, Brady Bimson, shout out. I know you watch these. He came over and brought 2 Magic the Gathering decks, and we played them. He played some bullshit land destruction deck.
God damn it, Brady.
And I played like some red-blue spells matter deck, which is still to this day like one of my favorite archetypes. And I was kind of enjoying it. It was pretty fun. And then there was like one moment where he used a spell in a way that seemed like it wasn't intended to be used. Like he used a beneficial spell, or let's say like he used a kill spell on his own unit to benefit him. And I was like,
right. Mind blown.
Right? I was like, whoa, like that's so cool. And I was hooked. He left. I got on my phone and I looked up Magic the Gathering articles. And I essentially just clicked like Channel Fireball, and I just read strategy articles in bed for hours. I didn't know what any of these words meant. I had no idea what any of these cards did. I just read and read. I found the soonest tournament, which was the next day. It was draft. Never heard of it. Whatever. I'm going to show up. So I just show up, pay my $15. And I'm like, I'm here for the Magic the Gathering draft tournament. And they're like, cool. Have you ever drafted before? I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Awesome. But I read an article last night that mentioned it, so I'm pretty ready. Sat down, drafted, called someone a cheater in my second match.
You're already a local game store player. That's great.
I didn't like. I wasn't like you cheated. I was just more confused than anything.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're not familiar with Magic the Gathering, there's two main phases. So you know how you can like cast a spell. You can cast a spell in your first main phase, then attack, right?
Oh,
and then
yes.
you could cast a spell in your second main phase, or you could skip your first main phase and go straight to attack, and then play something on your second, or you could not play something on your second. You have the option, kind of like Runeterra that way. But I'd never heard of a second main phase. Because I played with my buddy who also was new to Magic. I didn't know you did anything after combat. I thought you attacked, they blocked, the turn was over, and we moved on. So I attacked, he blocked, or he attacked, I blocked, he casted a spell, and I went, wait.
Hold up.
And then I also thought that the only reason you couldn't continuously attack with your units was because they were tapped, right? So I drafted like 6 of this card that would untap multiple units. Because I thought I could attack again with them.
Yeah.
That was not correct. Anyway, that was my first Magic the Gathering tournament. I 3-0'd it somehow.
What?
So like, my opponents must have been pissed, man. I had no clue what I was doing.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, that happened. And I was hooked immediately. And then I found out that there was the Pro Tour. Right, which is like every aspiring.
How long ago was this, by the way?
2000, probably 14 or 15, 6, 7
So
years.
like 6-7 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, so a bit ago. And yeah, I found out about the Pro Tour, which is every FNM player's like, oh, right.
Dream.
I can get paid to play Magic the Gathering. This is insane. And yeah, I remember seeing it like a broadcast for a Pro Tour. On the way to another event, someone was like watching it, and I was like, I want to do this. And for those who don't really know me super well outside of like, I mean, most of you don't know me super well outside of Runeterra, right? But I'm an incredibly like competitive person, like incredibly, not in like a toxic way. I don't like have to win. I just really want to compete and get better.
I mean, there was that one time that we were both eating our food before the podcast, and then you insisted that you could eat yours faster than me, and then you almost choked. That was a little bit weird. That was
so it sounds like something I would do, but that actually didn't happen.
Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I'll let the viewers decide.
Who knows? But like I like to get into hobbies and then compete in them in any way, shape, or form. Like I just enjoy that. I like comparing myself and my growth to others around me, and then just trying to get better. And I'm like I said, I'm not like toxic about it. I don't like have to win. I don't mind losing. I just like to get better, and competing is like the best way. Usually, it's fun. It's fun for me, right? So I saw the Pro Tour, and I was like, I have to do this. Eventually, got there 2 years later or something. I was in the Pro Tour.
Very impressive feat. I've known many players who have played for 20 years and have never once qualified for the Pro Tour.
I was one of probably the most obsessed Magic the Gathering players you can imagine. I latch onto something and I like don't really let it go. So I played a lot of Magic, qualified for the Pro Tour, got to the Pro Tour, and I looked around and I was just like, this just ain't it. This isn't what I thought it was.
That speaks like a lot of volumes to your like ability to sort of see things, because because a lot of people go through that same journey, but it happens over like maybe 10 years or something. Yeah. It takes a long time to get there. Maybe they go to the Pro Tour a couple times, or even some people ride the tour for a while before they're like, oh wait, there's something missing here.
Mm-hmm. It's just like once you take away like the glamour of the idea of being on the Pro Tour, it's like kind of shitty. You have to like there was really good things about the Pro Tour. If you could accumulate a certain amount of points, you could be like a platinum pro or whatever, and then they pay you to go to these events. You have guaranteed qualifiers, but I don't know. It was so rough, like working this hard, looking around, and like being a pro was a goal that was like sold for Magic players, right? That's why it's called the Pro Tour, and it was supposed to be to where you could support yourself. Your career could be Magic the Gathering player, and some people managed to do it. Very few. These are like the upper elite, and most people did it through content creation, as we will get into later. But yeah, I just got there. I looked around and I was like, this ain't it. I had an absolute blast. It was probably the most fun I've ever had in my life. Like I got to go to Dublin, Ireland for a week with my team. My friends came. Like we stayed at an Airbnb. We went out all the time. Like it was a blast. So much fun. But the actual Pro Tour, it like disillusioned me from the dream, I guess, right? And so I kind of dropped Magic. I was just like, this isn't worth it. I really like Magic, but I don't know, being a pro, like, it was rough seeing these people who were the pros and they're like stressed. They don't want to be there.
It's so incredibly hard.
It's hard.
I'll never forget, like my buddy Ao Paquette, he goes first pro tour, top 8's it. Second pro tour, Worlds, comes in second, almost world champion. Like that's the most insane thing ever.
Mm-hmm. That's an absolutely insane run, and then just leaves.
Then he quits. I think quits Magic because he's like, I ran good. Like obviously he was very good, but he was like, there's so much
lucky, like to get those.
You have to get lucky. There's so much variance, and I put in so much time, and like he probably made like, I don't know, 20,000 and 30,000 or something, but like, we're talking these happen every like 3 to 4 months, and like nothing's guaranteed, and it's a rough lifestyle.
Yeah, it's rough, and like these people were barely making it.
Yeah,
like there's a few who have made a lot of money, but not
especially now.
Yeah, but like people are just barely making it. And I was like, okay, this isn't the dream. This isn't the dream I was sold. Like I'm just kind of gonna head out. And then about 2 years later, maybe they changed it. Now there's Mythic Invitationals. Now there's big ass money up top. Now they have the Pro League thing.
That all got scrapped, by the way, in case you didn't know.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
So all like we're talking like millions up top. They're salarying pros for like $70K a year plus prize winnings and other benefits. I was like, hell yeah. This is what I wanted to see. So I boot up Magic the Gathering Arena for like the first time. And I get to grinding and I qualify for a Mythic Invitational, like a Mythic Invitational qualifier. Like the first one after like a couple weeks of playing. Didn't quite make it. And then I do it again. Right. There's a few months, next one. And I make it this time. I run like 11-0 or something insane and get into the Mythic Invitational. And I am ecstatic. It's going to be in Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan. The prize pool's nuts, even though it was slightly lowered from the last one. It's like 750,000 spread over 120 people. It's insane, right? It's insane. Plus, like all this other stuff. They pay for my flights out, right? Like I have all these other benefits. It was huge for me. And then COVID hit, and they pushed it back. And then not only did they push it back, they added multiple Mythic Invitationals together. So instead of having 116 people, now we have like 450. 450 with 750,000 is a lot less than 120 and 750,000.
Without increasing the prize pool, yeah. It's supposed to be 750K for like all three of them. Each one 750K, 100 something people. Now it's like 400 something people, still only the same prize pool.
750K. And then they cut the prize pool in third.
Yeah.
Now the prize pool is 250,000 for 450 people instead of 750,000 for 120 people. And you're going to play it at home, which is fine. It's COVID. But normally you get paid the travel fees. So like if I was going to go to Japan and I wanted to get there on my own, they send me a check with how much like my flight would have cost or whatever. That's like how the Pro Tours used to be. And
I think they actually just paid for your flight.
They just like pay for your flight or whatever. But anyway. I'm saying you could decline it. And they would give you compensation. But they cut that, which is fine. But all that put together was really rough. It's really rough. And Magic, like Wizards, had their best like quarter ever at that same time. And they were, saying, "Oh, it's COVID, everything's rough." And all this really sucked. I was so bitter and down about this, but whatever. You get screwed sometimes. And then they had the gall to write an article about how this is good for pro players, and I lost it. I did not practice for 1 day. I showed up with a list. I played for 2 hours in this tournament. I was so checked out of Magic the Gathering, I didn't even know what was in the format I was playing. For the highest stakes tournament I've ever played in my life.
That's wild. I didn't actually know the extent of. I knew you'd gone to the Pro Tour. I didn't quite know what.
I don't think I've gone into like the full story.
Yeah, I think I put in that same tournament, and that's like the exact same thing that happened to me when all that happened. I was like, screw this. Like they just like, yeah, they literally just like, can you imagine? It's like basically like you won a lottery ticket for like, you know, $1 million, and then they were just like, guess what? We're going to give you $50,000. You're like, excuse me, what?
Why?
Like, yeah, that's still money.
I earned this. It's in the contract.
Those are different things. I bought that ticket because I wanted to win $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to a bunch of players. I had a bunch of qualifications for tournaments that just got canceled. Seth Manfield, who was my podcast partner at the time, won one of these tournaments. It's supposed to be $100,000 up top. He got 10,000. Like, that's a massive difference in money for someone that's trying to live the dream. That's so funny. And that like ended up with both of us heading to Runeterra eventually. That's wild.
So after that, I was done. I was just done with Magic, right? I still like to play EDH or whatever every now and then. I still have like a couple decks, but I sold my stuff. I sold my cards. I bought a computer, my first actual PC. And I looked around for something new to play. Runeterra had just come out with their closed beta, which I got into. I didn't play it. And then I played it for the open beta. And I did not like it. I played Runeterra's open beta and I did not like it.
What did you like about it?
It was boring. It was easy. It was simple. It was boring. Everything. It felt like like nothing. The cards weren't cool. They were pieces. They were just stats. And every now and then one had like a pretty cool ability, but like Ezreal, I think was the coolest card in the game. Still a cool card, but like most of the other cards were like 3-4 for 4. That's pretty good. And like that was the extent of it. Like it was boring. And I don't blame Runeterra for that. Like it's a base set. It's not going to be super exciting. You can't get too deep into the mechanics on your base set, right? But it wasn't for me. So I dropped it. And then Artifact came out. And Valve was making a huge push about their $1 million tournament. How it was going to be a really big deal. And Artifact looked complex. And I like complexity in my games. I'm obviously willing to like dive super deep. And so I was incredibly excited for Artifact. That's all I like talked about, thought about, played for like months, right? I watched all the videos of everyone getting like, because there was like a closed demo or a closed beta for like months. They just wouldn't let anybody else in. Like Swim was in it and a couple other people and stuff. And they voiced some concerns which didn't get fixed, and the game bombed hard, which sucked because I think there was really something there. But the game bombed incredibly hard, and I was left kind of going,
do the John Travolta.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
We're going to play.
Like,
where are they going? Hearthstone, I guess?
Yeah, I want to play card game. I played a season of Hearthstone, hit like the top rank, and then asked on like Reddit or something. I was like, what now?
What
And
what
they're
now?
like, nothing. And I went,
that's so
okay.
funny.
And I deleted the game.
I did that the first season. The first season came out. Yeah, I made it to the top rank. It was just like, what else is there? I'm like, some little like tournaments they got going on the side here. And I was like,
no thanks.
Nah.
$20 for first place. I'll go play poker. Like,
yeah.
Also, I played poker during this time. That was like the competitive card game I switched to. The adult card game, right? But yeah, so that wasn't it. And what else? What are you gonna play? Yeah, Hearthstone? Yeah. No. Shadowverse? Like, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Not that Shadowverse is a bad game or anything, but like, I don't know. It's not like I'm not excited to go try that out. And then Runeterra released an article, and both of us read it. It was titled something along the lines of Path to Pro. And those are like buzzwords for me. Right? Yeah. Any kind of Path to Pro type thing, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I'm a
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. Organized play is like a drug to me. So read the article, and it said, hey, we're going to come out with these things called seasonals. It's going to invite the top ladder players. You're going to play. There's going to be some money up top. And that is going to be a way that you can get into the pro scene, which we plan on making. And I was like, word. Easy to qualify. Easy, right? To qualify for tournament with actual money up top. A pro scene to be developed. In the league IPO. It's called IPO, right?
Yeah.
IP. League IP, not IPO. They're not going.
Yes.
They're not going like public or whatever. IP.
No.
League characters whom I like. A pro scene emerging, and a
From
new
Riot
set
Games.
from Riot Games. Yeah, who've historically done very well with esports in the past. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So this is what, November-ish?
Yeah.
Right? First season was in like December or late November or something. So I hopped on. Zoe had just come out, which is one of my favorite champions in League of Legends. So I played her all the time. And I qualified for the first seasonal. And all this time, my friends have been trying to push me to stream, like Magic or something, right? I had a couple friends who were really like pushing me to give it a shot. Now, I don't watch streams. I still don't watch streams. I never have. It's not the kind of content I can't sit down and watch a stream. It just doesn't work for me.
Do you prefer like VODs, like YouTube videos and stuff?
I do, because I skip around. I like to like fast forward stuff. So I never really watched streams, but so the only things I knew about streamers were like, Pokimane,
Ninja.
like Ninja, right? Like the big ones, and what my friends told
Yeah.
me. So I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't think I could be like a streamer. I don't have like over the top reactions or anything. I'm not an incredibly exciting person. I'm pretty good at the game, but like that's not enough, right? And then I made top 32, and my buddy pushed it real hard. He was like, dude, just do it. He's like, just go buy a shitty camera, use your headset.
Still got it.
Turn on your stream. If you're ever going to do it, now's the time. You're fresh off topping the first tournament this game has, right? The first official tournament this game has. Now, I didn't do anything in top 32. I bombed out. I top 32 the first one. I don't know if I got to that part in the story with like Draven, Ezreal, and some other shit I didn't know how to play. Like that was it. I was just like, please don't ban Draven, Ezreal like every single round. So yeah, I made it to top 32. Immediately bombed out in round one. But it was fun. And yeah, so my friend was pushing me really hard. It's like, if you're ever going to start streaming, now's the time. And like I said, I knew nothing about streaming. So I invited my buddy over who watches streams. He installed OBS for me. He told me how to put my camera on the screen. And I went, okay, I'll stream, whatever. No one's going to watch it. No one cares. I understand how because as soon as I like decided I was going to try it, I read some forums and stuff, went on like RSWatch Twitch, top of all times, like read the big ones, read streaming guides. I understood what to expect, which was nothing. You should expect nothing. No one's coming to watch you. Because that's basically how it works.
It's going to be a ghost town for...
It's going to be a ghost town.
You're sucking wind for like 6 months.
0 people are going to be in your chat. So I called my friends and I was like, yo, I'm going to stream on this day. Start on your computer, right? Come make fun of me in chat or whatever. And a couple of them were like, okay. I turned on my camera. I started talking. It was really weird. It was really awkward at first. I didn't really get it. I'd never done anything like this before. But I started streaming and I hit like 10 viewers the first day. Because I had like some from my friends. A couple of people recognized my name from the top 32, which is huge, by the way. And then, just a couple of people filtered in because Legends of Runeterra does not have a lot of streamers. So it's feasible that people will actually scroll down to the bottom and click on your name, even if you only have 3 viewers or whatever. So I had a couple of viewers, and that was way more than I ever expected. And I was like, that was cool. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. So I did it again the next day, had a couple more viewers. Did it again the next day, had a couple more viewers. And then I hit affiliate in like 4 days or something ridiculous. And my original plan was like, let's try to hit affiliate in like a month. See what happens. And I hit it in like 4 days. And I was like,
did that get you hooked? Was that like maybe I could do this?
Not like for a job, right? But like, maybe I could, like, this would be a fun hobby, right? I like this. I'm going to play the game anyway. I like talking to people in chat, and I'm doing better at it than I thought I would. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before. I'm not a broadcaster or anything. I have no background in this. But it was really fun to just like shoot the shit with people in chat. And I have a tendency to like talk out loud anyway when I play games. So that was very natural for me and still is. And yeah, I hit affiliate. I got a couple subs. That was pretty cool. And then about a week into streaming, I hit rank 1. And I was like, nice. Not rank 1 like at the beginning of a season, right? Not like 150 rank LP rank 1, like 700 something LP rank 1, like pretty deep into the season, because no one really grinded rank back then. There was no point. No like world's points or anything to fight over, or seasonal tiebreaker. So I had like 700 LP or something. I hit it with Zoe Lee, and I made this Reddit post, and all of a sudden my channel got a lot more attention. People could see my name on the leaderboard, and then they'd stop in and say hi, right? People saw me on the Reddit post, they'd stop in and say hi. And so I started doing these things, started getting some more subs. And then I top 32 the next seasonal. And all of a sudden, I wasn't some dude. Now I was a real player. Right? Like, I feel like that's kind of when attitudes changed. It was when I top 32 the second seasonal. Before even the rest of the top 32 happened, all of a sudden I was a contender.
Yeah, that's not a fluke, right?
That's not a fluke. I didn't just get there because people sucked in the first seasonal, right? Which is true. I was really bad. I got very lucky. But like the second season, yeah, you do it twice in a row and people are like, okay, right, all right. And I hit rank 1. Now I'm a player. And so that drove a lot of people to my stream. I was regularly hitting like 150 plus viewers, which is a lot. Like 150 plus concurrent viewers after only, 2 months of streaming or something? It might not have even been that long. It's insane. And then I won. I won that seasonals. And my stream kind of exploded. I went from like 100, 150 concurrent viewers to like 400 concurrent viewers in the space of like a week. Lot of people flocked into my stream. You always got to come check out the champ, right? But I'd like to think that people stayed because they liked me. You know, people click on you because you won, but you got to keep them there. And that's on you.
Totally.
And so, yeah, it worked out. And that was when I went, okay, maybe I can do this. I have $10,000 from winning seasonals. Lol. Still haven't gotten that.
Moving on.
But I have $10,000. I could take a risk here. I was in the middle of like flight school, getting my pilot's license, which I'll still finish some year. And I was like, it's the middle of COVID. Why don't I just try this, right? See where it goes. So I did. Made a YouTube video or two. That was really hard. They were really, really bad. And I kept streaming and I kept making some money. And then I met you somewhere in there. We started doing this podcast and stuff. And I got introduced a little bit more to the content side of streaming, right? Not just streaming, but like actually making content, making YouTube videos, obviously our podcast, guides, doing coaching, that kind of stuff. And I made a decent amount that month that I won seasonals. I made like over $2,000 just on Twitch. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do it. And then the next month I made less than that. And then the next month I made less than that. And then the next month I made less than that. And all of a sudden I'm making $400 a month while streaming like 20 hours a week. Right. And I was like, I'm missing something. Like clearly there's something I'm not doing. And at that time, Saucy Mailman put out a tweet saying he was going full time. Now, Saucy, good streamer, great content creator, didn't have the same viewer base I did on Twitch. He would hit around 75 to 100 viewers, I think. Well, I was hitting 500 regularly at that time. And he announced that he was going full time on content creation now. And I was like, how? Right?
Tell me your secrets.
You clearly understand something I don't. How are you doing this? So I hit him up on Twitter because, like we talk, all us content creators like talk at least a little bit, right? So I hit him up on Twitter. And I was like, yo, dude, can I like call you sometime? I really need some advice. And he was like, yeah, of course. So I gave him a call on Discord. He talked to me for like 3 hours. Shout out to Saucy, by the way. Yeah, 3 hours. And basically broke down how it's been working for him, how much he makes on Twitch, how much he makes on YouTube, how much he makes on this, how much time he spends on all these, how he got into this, how you can expect to grow on this, how like the returns on this and this and this, right? Like broke it down for me, which is great because if you ever try to look up this information, it does not exist on the internet, like at all. The people who post like advice and stuff they're 5 viewer people on Twitch. Like they have no real advice to give you. No one's like, hey, I made it. Here's the breakdown, right? Here's how I went from this to this. I started doing this and this happened. And I make most of the money actually from this. So I spend a lot more time on this and then move people to this, that kind of stuff. Saucy broke that down for me. Incredibly helpful, eternally grateful. So
can you give the listeners in a nutshell?
I'll give you guys the shortened, the TLDR. TLDR is that Twitch ain't it. It's all about searchable content. TikTok, YouTube, our podcast, articles, whatever, right? Searchable content that people will find, because you won't grow on Twitch just by going live. And then when you're not live on Twitch, you don't exist. No one cares about you.
Yeah.
So basically, he just drilled it. He just beat it into my head over and over and over and over and over again. YouTube, 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 YouTube. So he's got quite the audience on YouTube. He's done quite well there. So I started making YouTube videos. Started making them every day. Well, I made a few, and they took me like a few days each. And they saw like, I guess you could call it success, right? A few hundred views, maybe 100 here, 150 here, 300 on this
first
one.
videos, it's good.
That is quite good. And I had a Twitch audience to shove over there, right?
Right.
So that helped. That helped kick me out of this like 0 to 100 view range. Usually people go YouTube to Twitch. I went Twitch to YouTube. I did it backwards. So basically the money's in YouTube and non-Twitch content. And then what you do is then you stream on Twitch and you bring your audience from YouTube over to Twitch, which ends up being much larger usually. You bring them over to Twitch. People stop by. They say, yo, dude, I watched you on YouTube. Glad to catch you. And they drop a Prime sub or whatever. Maybe they hang out. That happens enough times, and all of a sudden you have a much larger Twitch audience just because you've been doing YouTube videos. Twitch isn't even your main thing anymore. You still stream, right? But it's about YouTube. You can use your Twitch to make YouTube content. Like a lot of people do that. Like Grappler does that. BBG does that. But I really liked the curated for YouTube type videos. One of my favorite content creators was like Covert Go Blue. Does Magic the Gathering in the exact same format that Mogwai does his videos. You talk about the deck for a bit, you play some games, cut it, slam it together, post it, one every single day. And I looked at that and I went, these are the most successful people on YouTube in like the card game space niche. And I was like, this is also the format I enjoy watching. I'm going to make this format. So I think I talked to you and I was like, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a video every single day. It's like, I'm going to do it. And so I did it, and I'm still doing it. And it did pretty good at first. I gained some viewers, a little bit of subscribers, a couple a day, right? Views went up to like, instead of, hitting 150, now it's hitting like 200, 250, 300, 400, right? Views on these videos. And that was super sick. And then eventually I got monetized. I hit 1,000 subs in the like 400 watch hours or whatever that you have to hit. Got monetized on YouTube, and I just kept doing it. I just kept making videos every day. I point anytime. It's so nice to be like when someone says, "Hey, Bae, have you played Darkness at all? I think that deck's really cool." And I go, "Yep, here's the video." Right? You want a Nami deck? Here's my Zoe Nami video.
You want my thoughts on my list?
Here's my Fizz Nami video. Right? It's so nice.
There it is.
And then you're plugging it just over and over and over again. In like a non-obtrusive way. You're not saying like, "Hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel," right? Like you're providing people content, and then other people in your Twitch stream or whatever will be like, "Oh, well, I didn't know you made YouTube videos." Like I do this when I watch streamers. When I see they're like, it'll pop up with like YouTube videos every week. I'll be like, let's see what kind of YouTube videos they make, right? And so you're just continuously building these things, and then more and more people come. The bigger your YouTube gets, the more and more people come from YouTube to your Twitch stream and drop a sub or just hang out or whatever. And so they build each other up. And yeah, got monetized, kept doing daily videos. And then all of a sudden my videos weren't doing 400 views. They were doing 400 views in the first day. And it just kind of kept going from there. I'm pretty open about like money and especially for like content stuff, because I think a lot of people really want to know and they don't.
Yeah, for sure.
So basically what I make about in like the card game niche, keep in mind, I am an English streamer. The majority of my audience is from the US. So I would probably get a little bit more than someone with a mostly Brazilian audience, just because advertisers pay more to advertise to a US audience. But I get about $3.50 per 1,000 views on my YouTube videos. Which is, I think, about what you could expect. Maybe about $3. Let's just say like $3 per 1,000 views in this niche. Which doesn't sound like a lot. But if you're putting out a 20,000 view video every single day, all of a sudden that's a pretty big amount of money. And I'm not putting out I'm like my videos, I think average on their first day is like anywhere between 4,000 to 8,000 views, which is pretty decent. You know, if it hits the lower end, that's let's say I hit 5,000 views in the first day on a video, that's $15. It's not a lot. It takes me about 2 hours of work though, so that's not too bad. But releasing a video doesn't just get me views on that video. It gets me views on all my videos. So the formula I found is that whatever video I posted that day, I get somewhere between 2.5 to 3 times the views for that day. So if I have a 5,000 view day on that video I posted, I don't get 5,000 views that day. I get about 15,000 views that day. Anywhere between like 12 and 15, right? That's like about the formula I've looked through like day after day after day after day, and it's pretty regular. So now I'm not looking at a $15 day. I'm looking at almost a $50 day, right? That's like a $40+ day. And all of a sudden that's like rent money, right? For like 2 hours work. And that's about where I'm sitting right now. I think I'm averaging anywhere between $40 and $70 a day on YouTube. And it's work. It's like real work, right? Like you have to find something interesting to play every single day. That's fucking tough.
Yeah, you run out of stuff eventually.
Yeah, I can't play Zoe Lee for the 6th time. I will, but I'm not supposed to. So you run out of stuff, and you gotta keep new, keep fresh, keep like playing what people want to see. And then you have to do it every single day. And you have to do that as well as all your other stuff, right? I'm still streaming. I'm still making content for Mastering Runeterra. We're still recording this podcast all the time. I still do the Runeterra show. I still have to be a very good player, which means I have to practice. Recording for YouTube's and streaming on Twitch is not practice. It's not the same. Yeah. I do not get better doing that. So yeah, it's just like it's a lot of stuff and it's a lot of work. But once it starts kind of snowballing, it does feel very worth it. Yeah,
because I mean, you haven't been doing it for very long either, right? Like, when did you start doing it daily?
I started 3 months ago, and I think it went from something like my first month monetized, I made $80. My second month monetized, I made $350, and then the third month monetized, I made $1,500. And we're in month 4 right now.
The opposite trajectory of Twitch, because Twitch is basically the same as going out in the street and performing and panhandling and asking people for money.
Yeah, you're providing a service and hoping people give you money.
Yeah, YouTube's like having your own TV channel or TV show that ads are just put on automatically for you and just runs 24/7.
Yep. Not to mention, like, it feels better to make a YouTube video than it does to go live on Twitch. The reason being is I go live on Twitch and I'm just kind of there and I'm doing my thing. And then once I turn it off, it's gone. That stream does not matter anymore. I do not exist. But when I make a YouTube video, it stays there forever. So every YouTube video feels like I'm building a portfolio. Feels like I'm really like building something, right?
Right.
I feel good about it. When I go to bed, I'm excited for my video to post in the morning and see how it does and see what people think. I read all the I wake up 30 minutes after my videos. I have an alarm set so that 30 minutes after my video post, I can wake up, read the comments, and then go back to bed for like another hour. I love doing it. I love that.
That's awesome.
And don't get me wrong, I still love streaming. I really do. But like after talking about it with a bunch of streamers and like content creators and like really looking at the numbers, streaming it's not it. If you want to be a streamer and your plan is to just stream, God, I hope you have 10,000 viewers because you're not doing it otherwise. It's not happening.
Even then, you still need them to love you and sub to you. I know lots of people that stream to over 1,000 people concurrently, and they also only make like $400 or $500 a month from subs.
It's insane. And so it also like it sucks to try to like make money off Twitch. Because like I could get more subs. I just have to like have more calls to action and stuff like that and do events for it. But I hate asking people. So I just don't do it. It feels slimy to me. I'm not going to be like, hey guys, please drop a sub if you can.
Just need some more money.
Hey guys,
please give me your money.
Throw me some bits, please. That'd be really cool. I'd love to eat lunch today. Like I'm never going to do that. So YouTube feels better. I get to provide this free content. People get to consume it for free and Google pays me. Everybody's happy. plus it's just so nice. Like there's so much that goes into a content creator besides just like streaming and stuff. Like now that I'm building up this audience on, like I have an audience on Twitch, and that's worth money. Like I've done sponsored stream before. I'm doing another one after Worlds. And that's worth money. And then like once my YouTube subs and views go up, that's worth real money. Like not just the ad revenue, but all of a sudden I can get like sponsors and stuff. It gives me real weight when like negotiating with these companies and stuff. You know?
Yeah, it's not nothing. It's just not super lucrative like it is on. If you were a massive YouTuber, you're like rolling in that advertising dough. And like you say, you know, like if something happens that's really awesome, like in a game or something on YouTube, it's there for forever, and people can like go reference it and stuff. Happens on a stream, and someone didn't catch that stream or that part of it, it's just gone for forever. They don't really get to see it.
No one watches
VODs do live for a little
while. No one
while,
watches VODs,
and they're gone.
Nobody
after
goes
60
through
days
clips. Nobody does. But
some
on
people
YouTube,
do, but like not the same 2 billion something people on YouTube.
Exactly. But like, I mean, let's just look at like my Twitch numbers and my YouTube numbers. I'm one of the highest watched Legends of Runeterra streamers on Twitch, period. I make barely anything, and I've been posting YouTube videos daily for a few months, and already on the first day I post my video, I can expect to get over 10 times as many views as I get concurrent viewers on Twitch. I understand it's a different metric. It's much harder to get viewers live on Twitch than it is to get people to see YouTube videos, but that's over 10 times as many people that see my content every day.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so much better. Like it's just better.
People around the world can see it too, because you know people got jobs, people got lives, people are on the sleeping when you're streaming.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry about that long rant about YouTube versus Twitch.
No, it's good stuff. Okay, so but the other reason that we're here is to prank you for your birthday. Look behind you. We got you a huge. Nah, you didn't look. Never mind.
Nothing behind me. I can see my own camera. I'm currently looking behind me.
That's unfortunate. Anyways, Worlds. The other reason we're talking about here to talk about is Worlds starts tomorrow. You'll be playing on Friday though. They've chopped it up. Why don't you tell everyone how the system works and what's coming and what you expect?
Yeah, so obviously I made it through qualifiers, so we're just going to skip that part. But top 16 is currently split into 4 pods, 4 groups of 4 people. Spread, the regions are spread throughout. And group A and B, like what Am I's group, are playing on Thursday, tomorrow. And my group, C and D, I'm in group D, are playing on Friday. And it's going to be a single round robin. Every single match is going to be shown on the official
within
stream.
Your pod.
Yeah, every single match within your pod. So it's single round robin, so you're going to play 3 matches in your pod. So I'm group D. I will play against the 3 other group D players one time. Each
Do you
one
know their names?
Once. Yes. Let me make sure I get it right. Hold on. So I am in a pod with Kevin LOR, Odyssey, and Shihu.
Okay. So is that like 2 NA, 1 EU, 1 Asia?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah. And then the top 2 of each group will move on to top 8 after the single round robin.
Right. So 3-0 obviously locks you into the top 8 on Saturday.
2-1, you're most likely safe unless it's 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 0-3, and you're the odd man out on tiebreakers, but that's pretty unlikely. So yeah, 2-1 is likely good enough. 1-2.
Is it possible for there to be a 3-0, an 0-3, and 2-2-1s? I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to track that math. No, right?
Because 0-3 and 3-0 cancel each other out, and then you can't have 2-2-1s. It'd be a 1-2 and a 2-1.
Right.
It is possible to have a 3-0 and 3-1-2s. In which case, one of the 1-2s make it.
Yeah, that would get some interesting tiebreakers.
But basically, it's 2-1 and you're in. So, gonna try 2-1, and then you're into top 8. Top 8 is single elimination, basic top 8 bracket.
Oh, it's single elim. That's interesting.
Single elim. Because they're televising every single match. Televising.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Do you know what the prize jump is from like top 16 to top 8? And like also, does like 5th through 8th get the same prize? Does 3rd and 4th get the same prize?
3rd and 4th do not get the same prize. So there will be a loser's finals or something similar, right? That's nice. And then the jump, you get, if you make top 16, you get like 6,700. So almost 7,000. And then if you make top 8, it jumps to 12,000.
Wow, like doubles.
Yeah. And then first place is 40. Then it goes like 40, 25, 20, 18, 15, 12. Something like that.
It's some pretty sizable amounts. I'm just happy for everyone that made it to, like, you know, make some money. It's, I love seeing the Runeterra community get paid. I
would also love to see
that. So I tried so hard.
You just set me up, man. Just laying it up. Alley-oops.
Winning money eventually. So how are you feeling going into Worlds? You want to tell people a little bit about like what you did to prepare? I know that you stayed at home, didn't go anywhere, and hunkered down and played nonstop 24 hours a day, right?
Yep.
No? What?
Yeah, I totally did that at Disneyland.
At Disneyland. You went to Disneyland.
I went to Disneyland all week. Yep, with my family. So it's we played, and then it's top 16, right? And you can register different decks, which is a problem for me because I wasn't even at home and couldn't really play. So I'm just looking like I'm
different decks from the open rounds. Yeah,
I'm behind on the meta, and I usually feel like I have a very, very, very good meta read, and that like enables me to do very well. Makes my tech cards good. My deck choices are usually very solid for the meta, and I feel really good. That is not the case this time. I'm basically a week of hard testing behind people. Their tech is newer, the decks are different, and so I basically came back. And they we had to submit deck list on Monday. And they said Monday at 10, and Riot's in LA, so they're always on Pacific time. But then later they told us it was 10 p.m. Eastern, and they told us that Monday, like afternoon, morning-ish, when I was in the car driving back from LA. So I wasn't going to get home, and I had to submit my deck list. So I'm just on my phone, like going, okay, this deck, copy that deck list. Okay, paste it over here. Wait, let's make sure that's the right one. Okay, go to import. Yep. Okay, that's the right one. All right, the next deck. It was so frustrating. It was like
gosh.
The whole thing was so anxiety-inducing for me because I knew I was behind, right? Knew I was behind on the meta. I knew I was really enjoying being at Disneyland with my family, but I really, really, really wanted to practice. But I couldn't. I brought my laptop so that I could like jump on Discord with the boys, shout out to the team, get some practice in. And then I took out my laptop charger and found out that one of the dogs here had chewed through it. So I didn't even have my laptop. Oh, no. Yep. So I was trying out all these new decks. I'm talking like the TFGP Bandle City deck, the Ezreal Vi Shellfolk deck. Like all these new things were like coming out and like doing really well. Overwhelm started performing pretty well on ladder. Like all these things. And I just couldn't test them. I could try them. Right? I played 15 games of Ezreal Shellfolk while I was in Disneyland. The problem is that's not testing. Yeah. Right? That's trying. And that's good enough for like, I don't know, maybe bringing it to a seasonal open, maybe. But like, you can't show up to top 16 Worlds without knowing exactly how this deck does against all these different things that you expect to be there. Like, if you find out that this deck can't beat Plunder for some reason, then you have to take that into consideration. But I didn't know that because I didn't get to do like real testing.
Yeah.
You know, I spent 10 games just trying to figure out how the deck worked. And then I'm just playing against random stuff on ladder. So that was incredibly stressful. We submitted deck lists. All the players have all the deck lists for all the competitors. People not really allowed to like completely share them a bit. But like, I don't know. I'm looking at the stuff.
Were you surprised by, you know, you're talking about all these different decks that were popping off during that time period. With what you see that people ended up bringing, were you surprised by the direction? Did things shift a lot, you know, from like kind of the meta?
No, some people brought some spicy stuff, as some people always will. But for the most part, I basically picked it. Like, I was 100% on for the open rounds of Worlds. I was like, I expect to see a lot of tree. I expect to see like, I expect to see Scion be like not there, and I expect Draven Caitlyn decks to do very well. Kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, can you explain that a little bit? Why did you think Draven Caitlyn would show up in the last one, and it did? And why did you think it would not as much in this one? Also with Tree.
With Tree, okay. So I expected Tree to show up a lot in the open rounds because Scion was the big thing a few days before. And Tree was coming out, and we had just figured out that Tree beats Scion if you build it right. And so this revelation made Tree like the go-to third deck for a lot of people. And then all of a sudden, Scion was a lot less interesting. So Scion was dropping off, and people knew that. But if Scion's dropping off and Tree's on the uptick, you want to be on Tribeam, right? Because the Tribeam deck really only loses to Scion, and it crushes Tree. So I expected a lot of the like top people, because this is Worlds, right? So I expected a lot of people, like in the seasonals, I bet a lot of people wouldn't have been on it, but this is Worlds. Right. And so I expected a lot of people to switch to like a Draven Caitlyn. And a lot of the best performing people did switch to Draven Caitlyn. You saw it was very popular in EU as well. I was on Draven Caitlyn. And then another deck that I thought was going to be popular in small circles, like I thought it was going to be more represented than people expected, was Sivir Akshan, Demacia, because it did pretty well into the Poppy list at the time, and it was kind of a dark horse. And if Scion's not there, you bring Sivir Akshan. It can beat Zoe Nami. So I expected Sivir Akshan to do well. And my exact lineup, which was Draven, Caitlyn, Zoe Nami, Sivir Akshan, ended up being probably the best lineup at the tournament, like the most successful one. It put quite a few people in the top 16. And so I expected that to happen. And then all of a sudden, we're in top 16 now, right? And Tree's not as good because Poppy Rally is now more refined and people are more used to it. And Poppy Rally is good into Tree. So I expected to see no Tree. The other deck I expect to see a lot of is Draven Caitlyn variants. So you really don't want to bring Tree. But if Draven Caitlyn starts showing up, you want to be on Scion. So I expected more Scion in top 16 than in the open rounds. Lo and behold, we have Scions and a lot of Draven Caitlyns. Sivir Akshan, still there. Zoe Nami's seen a lot less in the top 16 than the open rounds because everyone's coming with a plan for it. I still brought it because I think it's powerful enough that like it's just going to beat people. You know, it's like you can show up ready to play Zoe Nami, but like every now and then I'm just going to do my thing and you're going to lose the game, right? Or like you're going to stumble and I'm just going to kill you. And I like to be on that stuff. So basically what I did, because I didn't have the time to like fully test, is I defaulted to the three most powerful things I could be doing in my mind. So I picked Scion with like Aloof Travelers, a more like mid-rangey version. You'll see burn variants in top 16. Those are more common because I want to be decent into like, I wanted my Nox PNZ to beat their Nox PNZ essentially, and then still be scary into like Poppy and stuff. I expected a lot of Poppy Rally.
And are you saying Aloof Travelers is one of those reasons?
I like Aloof Travelers a lot, but no, Scion just beats Draven Caitlyn, just on virtue of Scion. Right. But Aloof Travelers helps you against Plunder, which I expected to be very popular in top 16. There's actually like, if you look back in our like members channel of our Master Runeterra, I think you can spot 4 different spots in between the open rounds and top 16 where I say, I think Plunder is going to be pretty popular. And it is quite popular in top 16.
And why exactly? Why did Plunder pop back up?
Plunder is just pretty 50-50 against everything, which is like really something you want to be on in something like top 16. It's got a very, very, very strong nut draw, and it does well into Draven Caitlyn because they can't deal with like your one drops very well. You know, they don't have like their own to play to like block and stuff, so you can get those like first couple Plunder triggers very early. It's halfway decent and like it's pretty decent against like Poppy decks. It's good against, it's just good into a lot of things. And it's very popular in like SEA region. And so I expect it to show up in pretty decent numbers, and it is there. The other decks I want to bring, Zoe Nami, because it's just incredibly powerful, just beats things sometimes. And then I brought a Poppy Rally deck, the Demacia Bandle City one, with Yordle and Arms. I pretty much just stole the list from What Am I and his open round one run. Because it's just inherently so powerful. And what I'm finding out more and more in testing is that like it just beats things, man. Like sometimes you just cast your stuff and you rally and you just kill people. Yeah.
Even just like sometimes you out card advantage them even, which is absolutely wild. Like Scion decks, it's I've been playing a bunch of that deck, and sometimes you all your stuff makes stuff, and you just like bury them in card advantage, which is wild.
Yeah, I just wanted to show up with the 3 best things and say deal with it. And I think I've done that pretty well. Like people, you know, what are you going to ban? Like these are the 3 targetable decks that people are coming gunning for, right? PNZ Noxus, Zoe Nami, and Poppy. These are the decks people are coming for to try to beat. but you can't beat all of them. And it's really hard to construct a lineup that really beats one of them without losing to something else. And like my nut draws are probably better than yours because I think my deck's just more powerful. And we'll see. Yeah. We'll see if it works out. Like there are a lot of matchups I'm really scared about. And
have people brought TF Gangplank? That's like one of the new decks that I've seen just all over the ladder right now. Yep. Yeah, the Bandle City one.
Mm-hmm. People brought that.
Is there a lot of it or just a little bit?
There's a few, at least a few. I only really know what's in What Am I in my own group. I didn't look at the others.
Right.
Because like it doesn't matter to us, right? I'll worry about top 8 when I get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some things I'm worried about, and I can't help but have this feeling of being behind. Like I said, I feel like my tech's not good enough. They're probably a little more practiced than I am in these things, but I did the best I could. I brought powerful things, and hopefully it's enough.
Yeah. All right, bro. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Again, happy birthday from all of us, and good luck. The whole Mastering Runeterra community will all be cheering you on Friday and hopefully Saturday as well. Mm-hmm. Any parting words for the good people on maybe the ladder and the meta right now, and your thoughts on what people should be climbing with?
I'm going to be honest. I haven't done much climbing. I haven't really played much ladder.
Been busy practicing.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the top stuff, though.
What are your thoughts on the TF GP Bandle City deck?
I don't think we found the best version, but I think the shell is quite strong. I know a lot of people are switching Twisted Fate out for Misfortune to make it more aggressively focused, and I think that has some real merit to it. Makes combat like miserable for your opponents. So maybe in that direction. I think Double Up might be a trap. But
cool. We'll see. Okay. Well, we'll say adieu. We'll see you all again next week. And as always, you keep a winning mindset. You cannot lose. For us, so be goodbye. Peace.